And welcome to episode 59 of the TechnoBuffalo Show. As always, I'm one of your two hosts for today, Sean Ani, editor-in-chief of the site. And I'm joined by Deputy Managing Editor Todd Hazelton.
Hey, everybody.
Folks, I'm just going to apologize in advance. We're not quite sure what's going on, but there seems to be a little bit of a delay today between Todd and myself, so you may notice a little bit longer gaps than usual in Todd replying to me and so forth. But one quick bit of housekeeping I wanted to get to. We have been notified by listeners that when we set up the live show, I do it the day before and set it, for a scheduled time. We were not aware that makes it appear in your subscription box twice. It appears when I first set it up, and then it appears again when the show goes live. I am trying to figure that out. I do apologize. We certainly don't want to clutter up your subscription box, and we are aware of it. We're just trying to figure out a solution. All that being said, moving on, nothing going on this week, Todd. It's going to be a quiet week.
Yeah, nothing. No, we have Samsung tomorrow, which seems like it's going to be a big event. We're expecting the Note 5, the Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. We've already sort of covered a lot of that on the site. So really now it's coming down to, what are there any surprises and what are they? Because one teaser they showed seemed to have another device in it. And the big question is, what is that other device? And we've been expecting for a long time now that Gear A smartwatch, Tizen-powered circular smartwatch that has pretty much leaked in very detail with the circular crown or whatever that you can twist and move to navigate, brand new apps and stuff like that. So whether we see that tomorrow or not, I don't know, but it seems possible.
Yeah, for the sake of this conversation, folks, we are assuming that both those phones are coming tomorrow. So we're going to be discussing strictly. Yeah, we're going to be discussing strictly what else we think may be coming there. And just before we jumped on the show, Todd, you were saying there were some tablet rumors circulating.
Yeah, so recently, one of the things I'm wondering is, are we going to see the Tab S2 tomorrow for the United States? It's already available in some around the world, but Samsung hasn't made like a big splash with it yet. So I'm wondering if we're going to see that in the United States, maybe carrier partners, a different version. The Tab is an awesome tablet, super skinny, really amazing Quad HD display, stuff like that. I think it was Quad HD. In any case, great display. And then I just saw rumors as I was sort of researching, is there going to be an S2 for the United States tomorrow? I saw rumors of a Tab Edge possibly. So maybe that's what we'll see too, which could be cool because we haven't seen a tablet with the edges. And I don't know if Samsung has the capabilities, sort of outfitted their factories to make those kind of displays. Now I think with the rumored 5.7-inch Edge, that would be the largest. But maybe they can do it on a tablet scale too. So I think there's going to be, possibly a lot tomorrow. Because remember, this is Unpacked, and that's Samsung's big conference. It's what's usually in Berlin. Last year we saw the Note 4, we saw the Note Edge, we saw the new Gear Rs, which were brand new at the time. Now they're available for the S6 and S6 Edge 2. So also, not the S6 Edge double. And then, so huge event without two phones, there could be plenty of things. Samsung could unveil a whole. So,
gotcha. Yeah, it's the idea of an Edge tablet really. I just don't see that. I don't see the reason for it.
Yeah, because one of the reasons the Edge exists, it's great for multimedia, right? Because it doesn't have the bezels, but also with one-handed use, you can swipe in from the side. On the S6 Edge, for example, and quickly view contacts, or when the phone's facing down, it glows a certain color. So that makes sense. But on a tablet, you have to wonder, those edges could probably be pretty annoying in some instances, or really great. I don't know, without having seen it, if it exists.
Real quick, this is totally off topic, but I want to just acknowledge this from Sean the Man 34, who has been one of our most loyal listeners. Just wanted to say this will be my last live podcast for a while, heading to college and have classes during the day. Keep up the great work, guys. Well, to you, Sean the Man 34, what I would say is clearly your priorities are not in order. if you feel that your college classes somehow are more important than hanging out with Todd and myself on the TechnoBuffalo Show, I fear for the future of the country. But kidding aside, good luck, and we will definitely miss you, and we will have to hand over the reins of asking Todd what he's returned to somebody else.
Yeah. And I have the Apple Watch back on this week, Sean.
Well, moving back to Samsung, I just wanted to make sure while Sean was here that we acknowledged his departure. I don't know. It's I think with a tablet, especially when you're trying to work it like in landscape mode, the edges would get really annoying unless they only do one edge, which would be along the top. But then who's to say what's the top? Some people rotate different ways.
Yeah.
I don't see the edge being needed on a tablet.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, because what we've seen, the use case scenarios, right, are like bedside mode with the weather and the clock, tickers for like CNN and stuff like that, stocks. And I'm not sure that like you would need that kind of functionality in a tablet. But Samsung could do other things too. I mean, movie controls have been there, which would be great on a tablet. But those would sort of, your thumbs would constantly get in the way versus like a smartphone is more manageable for that kind of stuff. But maybe Samsung has that all figured out. I mean, I don't think it would just launch this product nilly-willy. I don't know.
We are talking about
in the past.
Yes, we're talking about that released how many different sizes of tablets at one point.
You're right. Maybe they would do it.
What was there? It was the Tab 7.7, the 8.4.
Oh yeah, they've covered like every screen size. That'd be funny. I gotta see like which ones they've not done before.
Well, what was the one we saw the rumor of last week? It was like a 24-inch tablet.
18 or something?
18.
Crazy.
17.8. 17.8 was the size.
Something that obscene.
I'm sorry.
That's like a monitor.
Who is going to put what is essentially a flat screen television, a small flat screen television in their backpack?
Yeah. I just can't imagine. I mean, maybe if it was like a Windows all-in-one, that starts to kind of make sense. And they did have I think the Note 12.2 is probably the largest they've gone, and that's a big tablet. So
yeah. I have no interest in 12-inch tablets. No interest.
No, let alone 18.
I mean, a 9.7-inch or so tablet is perfect for me. I'm a big tablet user. Like when I lay down in bed at night, first thing when I wake up in the morning, my iPad is the first thing I grab every morning, after I throw my alarm across the room, and start looking at, what the news is and all that sort of stuff. But the idea of trying to prop a 12 or 17.8-inch tablet up on my chest while I'm laying in bed, that's not going to happen.
And you have to wonder the price too. Like the 12.2, I think that thing was like $800. So like a 17-inch tablet would be like, can you imagine spending more than $1,000 on an Android tablet? And I'm just throwing out numbers here, but I don't know.
No way.
But maybe they're doing this in anticipation of the iPad Pro rumors, which isn't going to be 18 inches. I think 12 something.
Yeah, but you can do it in anticipation of the iPad Pro all day long. But the thing is, the Pro is still not a definite device that's happening. And then you go and leapfrog it by almost 6 inches.
Yeah, just see the marketing bigger and better, right, or something.
Somebody stop me when we get to the 55-inch tablets. But
isn't that a smart TV?
Yeah, yes, folks, I realize that there are ones you can mount on the wall and all that stuff. Anyway, well, moving on. So tomorrow should be interesting. And Jacob will be there live. We will be having, of course, whatever they announce, we'll have we'll try to get hands-on videos and do all our usual spec shootouts and all that stuff. So as I said, we're assuming it's the two phones. We don't know for sure, and there might be some other stuff we just don't know yet. But moving
11
on,
a.m. Eastern. So.
Yes, good idea to tell the time. In case somebody actually wants to know when it's happening. Moving on, the other topic we wanted to touch on this week was all these rumors about Force Touch being added to the iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around if this is a good idea or not.
Yeah, because I mean, when you think about it, it works all on the watch, right? It takes up the whole screen, and apparently on the iPhone it won't do that. But it's sort of like, and I have it on my MacBook Pro here too, it's sort of like an additional button, right? Like you push down and something else happens. But it also reminds me a lot of just simply tapping and holding, which is its own execution. But it's more than that. It feels like you're sort of pushing down. And so the rumors are, and they're from 9 to 5 Mac, which is usually right about this stuff, so it sounds pretty accurate, that you could use Force Touch on an iPhone to, say, bring up another menu. It's like push and hold down, and it would bring up a small menu. Or say, like you're in Safari on a website, and you see a link, you could Force Touch that of the website, it'll open. And then like contextual menus, like around your finger, like options, say, if you wanted to like share something, I believe was one of the examples. So I think there's plenty of use cases because the iPhone, remember, as everybody already knows, it just has the home button, right? It doesn't have the on-screen buttons that Android has for a menu or return. So I think it's very valuable to have that if that's what they're planning. And you don't have to worry about that added or lost screen real estate at the bottom of the phone either.
Well, do you think it's going to happen?
Yeah, I do. I think it seems like there's enough evidence. And now the new panels, I think as of yesterday, we saw them for the second time, that seem to have that little Force Touch motor on them, which would be the module that's both the sensor and gives you that the Force Touch.
Right.
And you see a similar big copper thing underneath it. And I don't know what it looks like in the Apple Watch. But it just, I think it makes sense to add that, like I was saying, for additional menu functions and stuff like that. But then there's a feature. And I agree with that. I don't think it's something like, at least right now, where I'd be like, oh, I need to upgrade my phone because it has Force Touch. So I'm hoping the 6 Plus and stuff and the 6S and 6S Plus have other features that are more compelling. Like improved cameras and stuff.
We have a question from Sachin Bahal. Is Force Touch necessary? Is it more of a gimmick? I personally think it kind of resides in between the two.
Yeah. It's not necessary because we already have iPhones and we use them and we're all just fine with them, right? Like, it's not necessary. But I think it makes sense, and it's not a gimmick in the sense that it could provide additional functionality that you don't have right now.
Yeah.
Show us in iOS 9 why we want it.
Exactly. They're going to have to come up with a compelling reason. Right. I've tried to stay on the main iPhone releases. I try to skip the S's except for, when I lose my iPhone 5 in England and had to buy a 5S. So I'm going to be skipping, the 6S Plus, but I'm going to be interested to see what they do with it. But I'm also going to be, like you said, there's going to have to be a very compelling use case for me to want to ever even care about Force Touch.
Like if it works in Apple Maps, which nobody uses, like I don't care. Then it's a gimmick, right? Like because I'm not going to open up Apple Maps. I still use Google Maps. I use Safari, so maybe it's useful there. Other options on the home screen, for example. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm the same here. I'm sorry, I'm still a Google Maps user, no matter what device I'm on.
Yeah,
it's just the better way to go, I think. So we got a lot of questions coming in. We will start getting through them here. From Jasper Rex, what battery size do you think is acceptable for the Note 5?
Well, certainly not 2550 like the Galaxy S6.
Yeah.
Because that's,
Yeah.
I want to see a considerable bump.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely going to be more than that. But as to the exact number, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it needs to be large, though.
Yeah. And just so you know, Todd, for whatever reason, we are no longer seeing you on camera when you talk.
Uh-oh.
Yep, I can still hear you though, so you're still here. And honestly, if I don't have to look at you, the better. I mean, oh darn it, he's back. From Sean the Man 34, Todd, how's the Surface 3? Tempted to get one for college to travel around college with. My MacBook 15-inch may be a little too big.
I haven't used the Surface 3, but I've used the Surface 3, so I'm not sure if it's the same answer you're looking for. Surface 3 looks okay. I'm worried about the Atom processor not being powerful enough because I have another one with an older Atom processor in it, but it doesn't run Windows 10 very well. Now, the Surface Pro 3 I like a lot. It's nice and light. My biggest complaint, though, and Sean, you know this from working with me in the mornings, I take it to the coffee shop with me, and the keyboard can just drive me nuts. And when I'm typing, sometimes it off somewhere, but it capitalization and stuff like that. And I've run into really, really terrible battery life when I have Chrome running. Hour and a half.
Well,
so I know that's common. I know that's like my MacBook Pro struggles with Chrome too. I mean, I get like 2.5 hours, but it's really bad on the Surface Pro 3. But Edge is pretty sweet. The new browser in Windows 10. Windows 10 runs really well in the Surface Pro 3. And again, I love how light it is. So around campus and stuff, it might be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I upgraded one of my parents' computers to Windows 10 the other day, and I still haven't had time to really explore Edge and see if it finally will release us of the shackles of Internet Explorer. But
it's better than Internet Explorer. It has some of those cool features that remind me of what you do with Force Touch on a Mac. It's not controlled by the keyboard, but Cortana can pull in extra data from the website. So if you go to like a restaurant or something, she can be like, "Oh, I have the directions and the times and all that automatically." Like she just scours the page for that kind of stuff's neat. But that has nothing to do with the Surface Pro 3. Yeah. Honestly, Sean, if I was you, I would probably wait and see if there's a Surface Pro 4 coming soon.
Yeah, and folks, I can attest when he's using that thing in the mornings from a coffee shop. And Todd, I'm not angry at you for saying these things. I'm just trying to give a testimonial to all I hear about is that keyboard. So yeah, if you're going to pick up a Surface, you definitely are going to want to look at a third-party keyboard because that seems to be his biggest issue with that keyboard and the way it operates.
Some people love it.
I know. I've heard some people love it, and all I think back to is remember at the announcement event when he was trying to show how easy it was to use it. He was trying to prop it up on his knees. It kept falling
in the
off.
lap. It does not make sense for that.
No, it doesn't make sense at all. Moving on from Sadish Patel, and I hope I got that correct. What are your thoughts on Snapdragon 820? I think it's a processor, and it has a dragon in the name.
I'm excited for it. It sounds like it's going to have better cameras, better graphics. You always move up that way. Not launching until next year, and that the heating and those kind of issues are solved. They had a lot of problems, and I don't think Qualcomm would want to misstep like that again. But I don't know. We were all excited for Snapdragon 810, and here 808 processors in our phones, and loving the Exynos chips and the S6 and the S6 Edge. So, hopefully Qualcomm did a good job with that. And
we lost you there for a second, Todd. Luckily, folks, the audio will be fine because that's recorded locally. But unfortunately for the video show, we are having some technical difficulties today. Every week I get questions on Twitter, and I always forget to look over here at the Twitter monitor I have. So I've been trying more today to look over here, and we do have one. And I'm going to take it real quick because I want people to think that I actually do read the Twitter questions. From Timothy Williams, do you think Samsung will include Force Touch on their new devices in the future? Could we see a Force Touch Note 5 NYC event? Now, that's an interesting question. A lot of companies do, once Apple starts adding a feature, they want to add it. But I'm not really sure about Force Touch. I think people are going to have to go, wow, this is a game-changing feature before the other companies throw it in. Because honestly, it's just an added expense if there's not a really good use case for it.
Yeah, and that comes back to what I was saying about the lack of controls on an iPhone. You don't have that back button or the menu button and that kind of stuff that you do on Android. So I don't think there's that need on Android. And I also don't think, we're not even sure. Well, it seems plausible now that we're going to see it in the iPhone 6S and the iPhone 6S Plus. But there's no way it's going to hit the Note 5 tomorrow. I don't think Samsung would build something that quickly just because it's been on the Apple Watch and the MacBook Pro. So
no, I don't think there's any chance of it being on the Note 5. But
I don't see it being copied.
Nah, I don't think that is going to be one that is going to be copied. From Sachin Bahal, do any of you guys use stuff like Parallels or Boot Camp on your Macs to use Windows and stuff? I know they do a little bit of that out at the Irvine office, but I don't, and I don't believe you do either, Todd.
No, I don't. I just have my Windows computers and my Mac computers. Keep them separate.
Never shall you farm two different things in one field. Good grief. Okay, this is getting upvoted from Sean the Man 34. Todd, what have you returned?
I don't think I returned anything this week. I don't think so. I'm trying to think because last weekend I bought something new and it was a big kayak, but I didn't return that yet.
Okay, yeah, that would qualify as truly a big return. Mm-hmm. From Sachin Bahal, is it worth upgrading my Windows 7 and 8 machines to Windows 10, or should I wait? I would upgrade the Windows 8, but Windows 7 is still a pretty decent operating system.
Yeah, it is. And in fact, I don't think it's really disappearing yet either. I think some manufacturers are sticking around with Windows 7 as long as they can. I would double check your hardware, though, before you make any moves to Windows 10. Because, like I said, I did my netbook, which was running Windows 8.1, and it's just not powerful enough.
Yeah.
So make sure.
Okay, we got some other questions coming in here. From Alexandre Matos, do you hope to see one day the Oneplus to be selling on, I'm not sure what that word is, in stores? May that force Apple or Samsung to change their prices? I think it could change a lot of the market. I think it will happen someday. I'm just not sure when.
Yeah, and I don't think Apple and Samsung are worried about OnePlus. Certainly not at all yet. I mean, this is a company that sold, 1-point-something million phones. Apple sells tens of millions of them every 3 months. So I don't think it's enough to really squeeze them, but I think that we are going to see Apple and Samsung change some of their models because of the markets they're entering, like China and like Latin America and stuff like that.
Yeah. It'll happen at some point. I'm not sure when. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Well, we already kind of addressed that. From Sean the Man 34, will we see any smartwatches tomorrow? I don't know.
I think it's possible. Yeah, I think it's possible because we're looking, there's a lot of rumors about the Gear A forever now, and we haven't seen it yet. So I'm trying to think, when else would Samsung announce it? I don't think they would hold their own event for the Gear A. So it seems really possible, but who knows?
Todd, I saw your message. I'm thrilled. I'll figure that out later. Nothing horrible, folks. We're just having a lot of technical difficulties today. From Justin, you'll say, I believe. What will be the new innovation in the next gen of phones? Opinion. Also, Windows 10 is great. Windows 7 is just a minor hardware hindrance in new gen Skylake. We discussed this a lot. What could be the next big thing in phones? I mean, we added fingerprint readers. Hardly anyone uses them, but they're there.
Yeah. And the cameras are getting really great, so I want to see that continue. But I don't know. It seems like there's what is it? I mean, you have Samsung with PMA and Qi wireless charging, which is awesome. You have USB-C, but that's not a huge innovation in the sense that the manufacturers are doing it. So I don't know. I think it's going to have to come on the software side, and you have to wonder what's going to change. I think maybe the advancement of these smart assistants like Google Now and Siri and Cortana will probably be the largest innovations that we'll see moving forward. But also 10 for phones with Continuum, I think that's really cool, where you can attach a display and have the full Windows 10 app appear, which is really sweet. So maybe we'll see that progress too, where you have iOS apps that can blow and run OS X on that on some level, or an Android, same idea. So that's where I think we're going, more software.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. From Sean the Man 34, heard anything about HoloLens release date rumors? No,
nothing yet. I haven't even played with one yet, but I've talked to Microsoft. I think soon they have this studio in New York where you can go, the press can for meetings and stuff, and see some of their newest stuff. And they said they're going to try to get the HoloLens there. So they soon will be at least able to play with it.
Yeah, I would love to try it out. From Neil Sampat, do you see a point to OnePlus's marketing? They get a lot of people excited but never have products to deliver. Can they kill any flagships if they don't show up for the fight? How would you manage it differently? That's an excellent point, Neil. And you're right. As long as they continue this system of what they're doing, where okay, we've got so many more phones we can ship out today, they're not going to be a big force to reckon with. I think the bigger question is, and one that I always wonder about, sometimes you don't want to be the biggest. Sometimes you want to do what you do really, really well. And you almost have to wonder if OnePlus is taking that tactic where they just want to control this specific little area of the market. And believe me, everyone, I am speaking simply from theory. But I almost wonder if that's where OnePlus is going. There's a lot of money to be made in niches. And so if they ever want to take on the flagships, yes, they're going to have to completely change their model. But this model is working for them. So maybe it's better to be a really big fish in a small pond.
Yeah, it seems potential. I mean, in my opinion, phones like the Moto G, the Alcatel One Touch, Idol 3, the Zenfone 2, those kind of devices, and I think they do a good job there. But I think fans, and this is clear in some Reddit comments and stuff like that, are like, what the heck? Like, I don't want to wait on this invite system, or like, if I have to wait around for this, I'm just going to go get some other phone. And I think they run a risk there, and they should really try to get as many units made as possible instead of running into, like, this year again with the OnePlus 2, we have a delay in the United States. Like, after teasing a phone for so long and then unveiling it, you can't do that to your fans and say, oh, whoops, like, we don't have enough, or you're bumped back in line because you didn't get an invite, stuff like that. So I feel like maybe they should have more units available, make sure they're not hitting delays, and satisfy that really hungry fan base first.
Yeah, exactly. No,
otherwise they're going to go buy those other phones I named.
Yeah, totally. I completely agree with you. From Sachin Bahal, as soon as it wants to choose his question, disappeared on me. I always love it when that happens. Good gravy. Oh, there it is. Well, it's actually from Sean the Man 34. That's why I couldn't find it. Wireless charging in iPhone 6s. Thoughts?
I don't see it.
I don't think so. Apple really likes making you buy cables.
Yeah, it seems to me that's the case. And Apple also seems to wait for a technology to mature unless they're inventing their own like lightning, right, or something like that. But because I think wireless charging is great. It can be convenient, but it's also still very slow. It's getting faster, and I wonder if Apple's just going to wait for it to become, as fast as a cable charging or close to it before they do it. I don't know. I love what Samsung's done though with PMA and Qi. I think that's the way to go. Like support both, and then you're good.
Neil Sampart brought up something, or Sampat that brought up something I had forgotten about that OnePlus had said. They did announce they expect to be top 3 smartphone sellers in the next 5 years, so I think they want to be big. They can think that all they want. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. There's no way they will. Well, actually, no, because if you count in Uwe and Xiaomi, yeah, no. I don't think there's any way they can make it.
I don't see them knocking those big guys out.
No. There's no way they're going to take down Apple. There's no way they're going to take down Samsung. HTC at the moment is out of the running. BlackBerry's out of the running. I don't care. Yes, BlackBerry, Android phone, it's probably going to happen, but it's not going to make them a top 3 again. And then you got to deal with the companies like Xiaomi and Huawei that are dominating China. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch.
Well, Huawei's here, but you look at Xiaomi wants to enter the U.S. too, I think, and I just don't see it. Especially because you have to consider these guys are trying to get the best parts, and they have to be able to afford them. Eventually, like if you want to become a top tier, you got to compete with those guys with parts too. And I think that's why you see HTC sort of struggle with their camera modules, getting the best ones that I think Samsung and Apple are able to scoop up at scale. So I don't know how they're going to get over that boundary either, especially if they can't even fill orders right now for their like fan base.
Yeah. It's a very odd situation. From Justin, you'll say, the Google Alphabet announcement, thoughts, smart or not? I think people are going to be confused.
Yeah, I mean, Google is going to be the Google as of right now, right? Like but it's also now under the umbrella of a company named Alphabet. Sundar Pichai is now the CEO. It's different, and I think we see Project X. I guess the X Labs are now under Alphabet, not Google. So we'll have to wait and see like how this all unfolds. But to me, it was just a surprise. Like the other day, like what the heck just happened?
Yeah, that was so bizarre. So bizarre. I really don't have an opinion. People are just still going to call it all Google.
Yeah, I think so too. And their ticker symbol when they're trading is still Goog and Google.
Yeah. From Neil Sampad, if Apple has to maintain their allure, what's the next big thing we need to see from them? What do you expect? Watches were a bust. TV, VR. I know it's big, but what do you expect? The first thing I would say is we don't know that the watch is a bust. And
I'm not sure I would say the watch is a bust because what are we at? Like estimates on the low end of 3 million in sales. That's better than any other smartwatch that's sold yet. So
yeah,
I'm not sure it's a bust. I think future software updates, you get more apps, and it'll probably do pretty well.
Yeah, I would say overall the smartwatch market is kind of a bust. But as sales go, though, as far as we can tell, the Apple Watch is the biggest selling smartwatch. That being said, from there, though, I don't know what they're going to do next. I think the TV's dead. I don't think we're ever going to see the TV.
Well, I think we'll see the new Apple TV.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm speaking TV set.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem possible.
TV set, I don't think is going to happen. Apple TV little box, yes, that's definitely being refreshed. It's just a question of when, since how many times have we gone through rumor cycles on it?
Right.
VR, we know they're hiring some people, but Apple experiments with things every day. You know, we also know they've hired people related to cars. We haven't seen anything official on that. We don't know we ever will. I don't know. I don't know where Apple's going to go next.
My guess is that, and I could be totally wrong, but that Apple's working to sort of change these industries by making smaller things. So like the Apple TV set and the streaming service could change TV industry the way, you know, Sling TV and stuff is. And I think with cars, maybe they're working on parts of cars or aspects that can be applied to the auto industry as a whole, and maybe not their own car. But I don't know.
Another question coming in from Twitter and I can't see your full name. Give me a second here. From the Electric MJ, what happened to Google Glass? Google Glass, from what we're hearing, they have shipped out a new model to businesses. It's not being handled like the Explorer edition was. And so we're hearing rumors that there is a second version out there.
Yeah, and then we're kind of waiting for the new consumer version, but I don't know that that's on the immediate horizon. I think we'll have to wait a bit longer.
Yeah. From Richard Hendra, and we addressed this a couple weeks ago. Do you think it was a good decision for OnePlus to exclude NFC from the OnePlus 2? No,
I think that was silly. I just finished our Moto G review, and I have it right here, and I still love the phone. But one of the things I don't like about it is it doesn't have NFC, because I use it for small things like pairing with a Bluetooth speaker. I have one right here that you just tap it, boom, you're playing music. And when you don't have that, it's kind of just like one of those things where you're like, oh, I wish I did. And again, with Android Pay coming and stuff like that, Google Wallet use case now, you can't do that. So kind of a bummer. It's not really a flagship killer if it doesn't have flagship features, is my opinion.
Just got asked a question by Timothy Williams. Is the video being uploaded to YouTube? Actually, it's automatically archived when the show finishes. Let's see here. I've got questions now coming in on multiple screens. Since I'm actually remembering to look over at Twitter. For those that wonder why I keep going like this, that's because Twitter is on a second monitor to my right. From Sahal Raja, what would you like to see in the next Nexus, and will Google come out with their own smartwatch? What would I like to see in the next Nexus? I have given this.
I want to see how fingerprint readers work with Android app built into the system. So if I can use it sort of the way Apple Pay is built in, or Touch ID works with Apple Pay. So if I can use the fingerprint reader to make purchases in Google Play and stuff like that, it seems plausible. I think that's what I want to see. In terms of hardware, it sounds like we're going to get quad HD displays. The rumor is Huawei is going to have a metal type phone, and maybe even LG's. But really, I just want the flagship specs and hopefully an slightly affordable price. I also want to see Project Fi supported by both, and that should happen if Google is going to push that, because now you get the celebrity phones for that at least.
Yeah, I mean, every year the Nexus grabs my attention, but it's always too expensive for what I want to pay.
Yeah.
Maybe someday I'll be able to, although supposedly the rumors are coming out with a cheaper model this year.
Yeah, that LG one is.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. From Justin, you'll say, with Google coming to all the areas of utilities and entertainment, what do you expect Google to drop in next? Car check, TV check, cellular check, ISP fiber check, space, robot invasions, service of some kind. Actually, if you go to Google and do view page source, you will actually see there is a killerrobots.txt that protects Sergey Brin and Larry Page. So the robot invasion is a possibility. I don't know. Google is one of those companies that at any moment you don't know what they're going to do next, and all of a sudden it's just, oh, hey, we decided to work on this.
Yeah, and you're like,
oh okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I
want to see, the modular cellular smartphones become legitimate. Whatever happened to the Puerto Rico soft launch?
I don't know. I don't know. And the other thing, I mean, I think they also really desperately want to get the autonomous cars on the road.
Yeah.
Well, they're on the road for testing, but on the road as in, hey, we can all drive one, or well, not drive one,
ride it.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that is going to bring this week's show to a close. We thank you, everyone, for joining us. As always, you can find the show on the iTunes store by searching for the TechnoBuffalo Show, where we do appreciate if you rate and review us. That does help out the show. You can also find us on Pocket Cast. You can subscribe via RSS feed. You can also find us on the Stitcher app, which means you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Anywhere there are podcasts, you can find the TechnoBuffalo Show. Until next week, I am Sean Ani. I'm editor-in-chief of the site. Todd will not be here next week, as Todd is actually taking a vacation. There will be a show next week. I'm not sure who's going to be my co-host yet. I'm talking with other TechnoBuffalo staffers. It just depends on availability, but there will be a show no matter what next week.
And probably fewer technical issues.
I hope. But as always, we appreciate you joining us. Until next week, take it easy and talk to you then. Bye-bye.